Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Volveno Shorty. We're going to look at everything dead and dying today, and I do love it when a comic book title grabs me first. It doesn't happen all the time. You know, I can read a Batman book just called Batman, but something called Everything Dead and Dying, I would watch that movie. I would pay for the streaming service of that TV show, and I'm absolutely going to pick up the comic book for it. Now, throw into the mix, you've also got Tate Bromball on storytelling duties and Jacob Phillips on artwork, and I am like 100% in there. I am absolutely going to pick this up. This feels like a comic book designed for me, and having read it, I can confirm it does give that vibe off as well. Now, those two creators are, on their own, people I'm absolutely happy to pay attention to. Jacob Phillips, slightly more than Tate Bromball, up until fairly recently anyway, because Phillips is responsible for some of the best comic books, in terms of the artwork, that I've read in the past good few years now. Numerous times he's made it onto my best of the year lists, stuff that's in my private collection in single issues and in collections because I want to actually have the entirety of them easy to read whenever I want them, and this is him showing off. Like, the amount of storytelling done through his visuals is phenomenal. I do love the idea of an unreliable narrator. I think they're an awful lot of fun. You can play around with that as a storytelling device and as a character device really effectively, but employing the artistry as part of that just absolutely elevates it for me. And in this particular case, what we have is the artistry being how we're seeing the world through our main character's eyes. We see him not necessarily lying to us. Like, in terms of him narrating, this is not a story we're being told by him. We are observers of it, and the way he sees the world is incorrect at times, or at least it's incorrect based on what is going on now compared to what was going on before. There is an unusual non-linearity to the story, but only because of the way he is seeing the world. And I struggle to remember another time I've seen artistry do something that effective. In the end, it came down to Casper Wingard doing Peter Cowan Thunderbolt with Kieran Gillen, where the artistry not just adds to the story, but is instrumental in how we understand the world through the lens of the characters within it. It is absolutely top-notch. Like, I have no notes to it. I mean, the depth to the colours, the playing around with light and shadow, the colour palettes used for various sequences that are happening, the way it's used to tell different time periods, honestly, fantastic. I can't remember being this moved by artistry in quite some time. The writing, I've got to say, as much as I have enjoyed an awful lot of what Tate Bromball has done, I can't say I've loved everything he's done. There are some times where I can just kind of bounce off it, or he's telling an interesting story, but it's not a story which interests me, if you get what I mean. But since I am exceptionally cis-hetero, I do go out of my way to try and find queer storytelling. Same as stuff written by people of colour or Indigenous people, because I think you should challenge yourself whenever you can, and this is the way I do it. I like this idea of having a wider worldview than what has been fed to me by mainstream media, and I mean that as negative as it sounded, and Tate has taken it upon himself to be that for me. I mean, I just finished the first hardcover House of Slaughter, and it is brilliant in a whole manner of ways. This one is a higher even than that. I've already said like how much I like the visual storytelling. All that is directed by the creator, the artist, and the writer. The writer is setting everything up to work the way it does, and it's brilliant that he does it. But it also is a very deep, personal kind of story. It feels like we are spending the time in this first issue deeply living in the life of our main character. We are not seeing it from, like I say, it's not him telling us a story. We are there with him, living through him and seeing what it's like to be him. And I think that was just phenomenally well done. I cannot wait to what happens next. And this is saying a lot for me, because I don't really engage with zombies as a comic book thing. Don't get me wrong. Thoroughly enjoy movies and TV shows where it's done effectively, where the zombie or infected or whatever is kind of a stand-in for what the artist and the writer and the creator are actually wanting to talk about. They're a convenient thing to put in there. And it took me a while to realise, or at least to interpret for me, what the point of this one was. And it goes back to that title, Everything Dead and Dying. There's an environmental message which comes in near the tail end of this story, and the language used around it and how it's described does make me think what it's like to be living on a world which is dying, which is dead but still going, still moving. There are parts there which are going to carry on. And I feel like for all of us living through the hell which is late-stage capitalism, we're also living through the hell that the capitalists have turned our environment into. And I don't know 100% that that's Tate's point, but it's certainly the interpretation I had from it, and it just adds another layer of why I'm thoroughly enjoying this and can't wait to see where it's going. I honestly think not only am I going to pull every issue, because it's been on my subscription list for quite some time, when they do a collection of this one, if they do a nice deluxe thing, if they throw a hardcover on there, I'm going to spend even more money on it, because it's just great. Like, I have no notes whatsoever. Can't wait to see how it plays out. I mean, there's something that happens like on the last couple of pages, which is like, right, after setup, there's going to be like more story here, and I can't wait to see where it goes. That's it for me for now, though. Until I see you all again, look after you, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.